on Tuesday, you mentioned it. All the different teams we had lined out for him. We had a nice little smorgasbord, and he goes to the Vikings, like one of the better receiving core teams in the league too.
Yeah, a nice charcuterie platter of teams that would be using him, and he goes to the one team that's not going to use him. I mean, granted, Minnesota doesn't have a tight end, so it's possible that he might get some looks in different types of formations, but I just don't see how this is going to benefit his career in the sense of earning big time contracts down the road at all.
Well, if Irv Smith stays healthy, he's a talented athlete. I think he might not be a traditional tight end. He's more of a receiver, but I wouldn't say they don't have a tight end. But he's always hurt. That's the thing. Look, it wouldn't shock me if the other Jalen in that receiving core, the rookie Jalen Naylor, was better than Rieger this year on that team.
Here's the problem: you still have KJ Osborne is their number 3. Adam Thielen is their number 2. And listen, my boy from the U, he don't disappoint. I'm very much like, okay, like guys, like Rager made the dumb choice.
Maybe they move him to corner and he just starts playing defensive back. He's not really catching the ball this way. He doesn't have to worry about it. Just run fast and bat the ball down.
That'd be crazy if he just started doing kick and punt returns.
That'd be nice.
He's got the speed.
I kind of want to see him play deep safety now. Just run straight back and Trayvon Diggs. You don't actually have to play coverage. Just run at the ball. Like you don't have to actually know how to cover anybody. Just get some picks here and there.
The Patriots tried that with Gronk on that Hail Mary scenario with the Dolphins.
Okay, that's a terrible situation.
Gronk had no clue how to run at a guy.
Oh my god, that was like the greatest situation of all time. I loved it. It was like I think I had money in the Dolphins too. That's why when it happened, I was like, I think I had Kenyon Drake on my fantasy team. Me and a couple of my buddies were at my sister's bar she used to work at, the sports bar, before she switched over to this fancy restaurant. And we're like all celebrating, jumping in the bar. All the Patriots fans are so depressed. Mm-hmm. And it's like the rest of the fans, because I think it was like mostly like Eagles, Steelers, Giants, and Jets fans. There was a couple Patriots fans sprinkled in, and we were losing it in the bar. It was hysterical.
Yeah, I also watched it in public, which was a mistake. And I also got the double whammy of I was going against Kenyon Drake that week. And it ended up being a pretty pivotal point swing for me to lose.
You're talking about the that lateral play, yeah. That's a fun story. I lost my second round of my fantasy playoffs that year by I don't know, maybe like 10 or 12 points, something like that. And because I had Kenyon Drake in my flex and he finished that play off with a touchdown, they gave him all of those yardage and all the points and the touchdown stuff. So I wound up actually winning by like 5 or 6 points instead of losing by double digits. And then I lost in the championship, but I still advanced after that.
That was a brutal afternoon for me.
Dude, we saw Northwestern last week top off. I think it was Nebraska. Are we going to see West Virginia beat Pitt, or are we seeing
Pitt? That's what I'm rooting for, baby. Country roads, man. I got money on West Virginia. I'm trying my parlay, the whiskey. We're going to call it the whiskey parlay, because if this hits, I'm buying myself a very exclusive bottle of Basil Hayden I found up here on the vineyard that I need to buy.
I figured a good way of trying to teach myself some college football is doing some small parlays on a game, and then that means I have to watch the game.
Yeah, so that's how I got better into it. Matt, I can't bet on college football to save my life. College basketball and pro football, I am a sniper. I don't really miss. If it's just money lines and spreads, I don't miss. The second I start trying to get fancy with the freaking parlays, I get screwed.
I know.
Yeah.
College basketball money lines are my bread and butter, though. I hit those like a G.
Oh,
I think I walked away with like $700 from the NCAA tournament, and I lost out on North Carolina winning the national title by one busted Armando Bacot ankle. I'm still never letting that bet go, because I would have walked away with $3,000, like celebrating, probably taking a month off from work, trying to find a better job, like serious shit.
So I will be cheering for Pitt in this game, because for really no other reason than I went to school in West Virginia, but not to WVU. I was an hour south at a small school, Wesleyan. And
my uncle went there.
West Virginia Wesleyan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. How long ago?
I
obviously had to go at the same time. Just curious.
Mm-hmm. 1988, 89.
I loved it there, but it was so much fun to cheer against the Mountaineers because of how obnoxious their fans were down there. And
that's all they got. That coal mines in John Denver.
Yeah, that's all they had down there.
I mean, listen, like a friend of the show, our original co-host of this podcast, Mark Riley. He is a diehard West Virginia fan, a graduate of West Virginia, and a diehard Eagles fan. Shout out. But listen, also the fact that I despise the Pitt Panthers. I despise Pat Narduzzi. I want to punch him in his smug little face. Not maybe punch him, but maybe brick slap him. I don't know. Just like the Pitt Panthers are literally nothing gives me more joy. I don't care if when the Hurricanes were bad in the last couple of years of Mark Richt in the Manny Diaz era, nothing actually gave me pleasure more than punching Pitt in the mouth for 4 quarters. Because they'd always come in ranked higher than us, and I'd watch Miami literally kick their teeth in physically. It could be a close game because they could score because they had Kenny 7-year as their quarterback.
Oh, I just realized when I responded to Beth's comment, I'm responding as you. My bad.
Yeah. Damn it, Duck. Jesus.
Jeez.
This guy. Hey, listen, more comments is better. It's better for the algorithm. Oh, my God. I will say this, though, when it comes to the game tonight, I'm excited. I'm gonna after this, I'll probably turn it on and watch it, at least on my, because they're like the freaking service here is terrible. I'm just throwing my laptop while I'm doing other things, but it's not the service. It's like the fact is our Wi-Fi router is older than probably most of the people who are intern at this company, and then on top of that, the TV has a blocker from high definition, so I can't even hook up my Roku to watch shit.
Oh, jeez.
It's like so dinosaur. I'm literally like, I just gave up. I just started like, I have an HDMI hookup for my TV for like Saturday because we have like 5 games we want to watch, but it's like for tonight, I'm just gonna throw that shit on my laptop while I'm doing shit. But yeah, no, it's just it's hey, listen, I have no place I'd rather be right now. So, but yeah, no. So, gentlemen. Any other interesting cuts? I mean, Andrew, you weren't here for our Tuesday show. The 3 of us were. We were talking about all the interesting last-minute August 30th cuts. But, like, the Rager trade got me. But, like, like O.J. Howard to sign with the Texans.
Tony Jefferson.
Eagles took Trey Sermon.
Well, I just found it funny that only one cut Patriot even got a look at a team, and it was Devin Asiasi who went to the Bengals. And other than that, they were all pretty much – they never even left the facility, I don't think. They were just waiting there to join the practice squad. So that it just speaks to the state of the Patriots.
7 Jets players got claimed off waivers.
Wow.
That got cut.
2 Eagles – they're going to call up Rager – or Rager's replacement because they only have 4 receivers in the roster. I think they're going to call up Devin Allen. I think he's going to get the call. Mr.
Tony Jefferson got cut, and he posted he was going to the Giants, I believe.
Great, another guy for Smith and Brown to smoke. Harold Landry tore his ACL.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad for the Titans defense.
Jesus.
Wait, who tore? I couldn't hear what you said. Who?
The 2 Titans headlines. Harold Landry, their like elite pass rusher, tore his ACL. And then they're signing Josh Gordon to the practice squad.
That's interesting.
All right.
Well, I mean, when your third receiver is Nick Westbrook or Keenan, whatever, why not take the chance, I guess? And when you don't know if Traylon Burks is going to be a cheeseburger away from being on the sideline. So
I thought it was just a 1 or 2 sprints with me on the sideline.
So is he the next Eddie Lacy kind of thing? Like one cheeseburger and he's
cheeseburger Eddie?
Or is he a Popeye's biscuit away from a linebacker or something?
Oh my God! Or who was it? Fucking
Booger
Kelvin
McFarland.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because like my pro comps for him and me and DJ talked about this. Like I looked at Traylon Burks, I'm like, I see some shades of Des Bryant, but I need to see more of it. It's like, come on, man! Like he's explosive. He plays well at the ball in his hand.
I always felt he was like AJ Brown too, but like AJ Brown on the Chipotle, but then it hasn't really translated very well, and he can't even get on the field at this point. So it's literally AJ Brown with the Chipotle in him. It feels like at this point.
Did you see Sauce Gardner's endorsement?
I love it. With Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, he got endorsed with Buffalo Wild Wings, and they gave him a sauce, and it's called Sauce's Sauce.
Okay.
So I am now going to go to Buffalo Wild Wings to buy that in my future Sauce Gardner jersey.
And it worked.
Kind of a mediocre name choice that I think there's a little more to work with, but I respect it, and now I'm kind of curious what it tastes like.
Lockdown sauce.
Yeah, like literally anything like Sauce Island. And
No, he should have gone a whole series lockdown, man to man, pick 6, like maybe like with like 6 different spices or whatever, 6 different types of peppers in it or some crazy shit. They had so much sauce. Gee, lazy as hell.
Yeah, no. My worry is like, are they jumping on this too soon? Like, are they like, this guy hasn't played an NFL game yet and they're already giving him sponsorships? But I'm like, all right, well, his name is Sauce. Like, his nickname is Sauce. Like, obviously, it makes sense. So I'm not really worried about
Taco Fall had endorsements. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah,
if you have a good name, it's sellable.
Listen, sports and sex sell.
Now, sexy sports. Now we're getting somewhere.
Speaking of cuts, though, Alex Leatherwood after 1 year getting cut and going to the Browns. I don't know who's in that corner booth Instagram thing, but I sent a post to it and it was going over every Mike Mayock draft pick from 2018 and where they are now. Every single player that he's drafted in the first 2 or 3 rounds are all from 2018 are all gone except for I think like Josh Jacobs and Selin Farrell or something like that.
And they declined those 5th-year options.
Yeah.
As well, too. Same with Jonathan Abram. Like I saw the same one too, where everybody in the John Gruden, Mike Mayock era, they've had like 8 first-round picks in 3-4 years, and they're all either on the cutting block or cut at this point.
Or not even like playing on another team. They're like out of the league.
Yeah, it's just insane. I think they said the Raiders called every single team in the NFL about a trade for Alex Leatherwood, and everybody said no.
Oh, Marcus May was arrested this morning.
Yep, it said a road rage incident, but then it said that his agent is putting out a report like he's denying the allegations.
Like aggravated assault, apparently.
Are you kidding me, Marcus May? I just had the Saints doing pretty well in our predictions. You can't do this to me, Marcus May.
I think DJ's got to take some sort of L early. I mean, like, listen, my theory of the Titans being dog bukkake is coming real. Or not, dog. Oh my god, dog turd.
Did you say dog bukkake?
Dog bukkake.
What the fuck is it? What are you into? Oh my god!
How did we get now? What's going on?
Oh my god! Somebody was playing Cards Against Humanity.
Oh my god! And this is where I got fired. No, it's this is no. They're literally gonna be like 30 pounds of dog shit. Like that's my prediction about the Titans. And like step 1, they have no offense. Step 2, they have no defense. Step 3, Malik Willis is in by week 8.
Step 4, Derrick Henry gets tired of it and takes the rest of the season off by week 8.
Yeah, just starts mailing it. Just starts mailing it in.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't need this anymore. I'm not taking 300 carries to not get to go anywhere. We're done here.
Oh my god. My favorite. So can we talk about how like the John Gruden, Mike Mayock era of the Raiders? It's not even the worst in their history as a team. But has there been a draft span from a team that's been so bad? The only thing that comes to mind with me is the Cleveland Browns for like the early 2000s, just missing on everything not named Joe Thomas.
How long of a year span are we talking here?
5-6 year span.
The early like 2010 era, like mid. It's not like it's like 4 years there where Bill Belichick really sucked. If you go back and look at where all of his draft picks, like his first 2-round draft picks are, like they're all off teams now. I think only 2 of them are still like playing meaningful roles.
Well, it's like then that same year though they picked up Aaron Hernandez and Rob Gronkowski. It's like they're not missing completely. It's just they're missing the first 2. Yeah. The Raiders missed everything.
That's true.
Literally everything.
I mean, if you
managed to score Max Crosby and Hunter Renfrow, so at least they got something during that. But that's pretty much all that I could speak of. Otherwise,
he stumbled backwards onto the two most unathletic looking white guys in their mugshots.
Most successful.
Doesn't matter how you got there, you got something right.
Yeah, most successful coaches stumble backwards into something good.
Yeah. Didn't what was it? The Niners were like, "Oh, you Bill Walsh, you shouldn't get rid of Joe. You shouldn't take this speedy left-handed quarterback from Tampa. Just let him rot. Keep Joe Montana." Oh wait, Steve Young goes and wins another Super Bowl.
Yeah,
takes in the playoffs like 5 years in a row.
I mean, honestly, I don't think there's from the time span of like 2010 to like 2018 or so, maybe 19. I don't honestly think there's one Jets player from those drafts that are still on the team that I can think of. their first round, like Mark Sanchez. I can go down the list, I think, from 2009 for first round picks. So it was like Mark Sanchez was 09. 2010 was Kyle Wilson. I believe the next year was like Muhammad Wilkerson, and then you had Quentin Coples, D. Milliner, Sheldon Richardson in 2013. You had
Jesus, this is the heavy hitter box.
20. I honestly I couldn't tell you who 2014 was off the top of my head. I'm gonna just go with it. It was obviously nobody productive. Oh, it was Calvin Pryor. It's Calvin Pryor.
Calvin Pryor.
2015, I also can't remember. I know 2016 was Darren Lee. 2017 was Leonard Williams. Then it was Jamal Adams and Sam Darnold. And then 2019, how can I not? Dude, there's just nobody there. And then you got Becton and Vera Tucker and Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson and everybody, Sauce and Jermaine. But
Andy Reid drafting offensive lineman for the Eagles. That's what I remember. Danny Watkins, the man. We had like 6 Pro Bowlers behind him. Let's draft a guy from Baylor who's like known for being soft. Got it. Played 6 total seasons in the NFL. Started 5 games total. Oh, God, I love it. Oh, my God. I think the Raiders, obviously, the John Gruden era. I love John Gruden's comments. Like, I would hope to coach again. Dude, it's not even just the fact, like, on top of it, throw the whole, like, even if, like, he didn't send these emails, right? The Raiders are ready to can his ass anyway by the end of the season. It's like, dude, you weren't just bad. You and Mayock were biblically bad. You wasted half of Derek Carr's prime. Then you also throw in the fact they stumbled upon Darren Waller, who was a carcass after he left Baltimore, but somehow finds him. They stumble on the Max Crosby and Hunter Renfrow. And, then they still managed to bumble their entire draft. And, I mean, I want commenting on the Marcus May situation. Joining us right now is my favorite and only Saints fan I actually like. Joining us from a hotel room somewhere on the road as he's covering college football for some company, either it's Barstool or another one. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Cruz Oxenrider, who is now officially Dirty 30.
What's welcome up, buddy? To the 30s. Welcome. As he mutes himself to talk.
As he mutes himself. Sloppy. Look at this. This guy's professional, and he mutes himself.
Even know it. He doesn't even know it.
Cruz, you muted yourself.
He's still talking.
Oh, sorry. My computer is messed up. I'm like trying to disconnect from the AirPods. I'm trying to get off. I'm on the road. I'm in Blacksburg, Virginia, Virginia Tech.
Great town. Great town.
Yeah. I fly to I'll be in New Orleans this weekend covering the LSU Florida State game. So look for me on TV on Sunday. And yeah, man, excited to be here. College football's back. I got West Virginia Pitt right to the corner of me. So I got Tennessee Ball State on my phone right now. So yeah, I'm in full effect.
Nice. All right. Wait, that the backyard brawl already kicked off?
Yeah, it's 0-0, 9 minutes left in the first.
Yeah, all right, up at 7.
Before somebody fucking scores, we'll pick this game and then we'll do the rest of the 6-pack afterward. All right. This is my upset pick, and it's West Virginia. Cruz has got Pitt. Andrew,
I'm going Pitt because I just can't bring myself to cheer for West Virginia.
DJ,
I'm gonna go with Pitt, but I don't like it. They're lost a lot, but I'm still taking Pitt.
I'm going Pitt, and it's not only because I got a parlay on them right now, but it is that reason.
I have Pitt. They are my they're one of my representatives for the ACC championship game. I like Slovis from USC. They return a lot on the defensive line. And plus, they're playing at Heinz Field. It's electric right now. Defense looks fantastic. It looks almost as good as last year. So give me Pitt and a cover of the points.
Yes, they just had a good stuff there on third down.
Yeah.
Oh man! So all right, I'll get to the rest of
the
the 6
smoking. Are you smoking? Are you smoking a cigar? I was like, yeah.
No, it's one. I'm on vacation, so obviously I got a cigar out here every 5 seconds. But also, it's the opener of the 6-pack, so I had to bring out my favorite cigar just for the occasion. Also, because I knew you were coming by, buddy.
I appreciate that. Sorry for being fashionably late.
Hey, listen, Cruz, I just assume you're going to be late, so I always prep for it. That's not even an insult to you. I just assume you're going to be late. I mean, it's like how Andrew, Matt, and DJ always assume I am going to be flying in like a bat out of hell with 5 minutes to go before the show kicks off.
And you did not disappoint.
I'm also on vacation. Was having dinner with my brother-in-law, my sister, and her best friend at a Mexican joint about 4 miles that way. The problem is traffic's hell on this island, so it's like, what the fuck, man?
Where are you?
I'm on Martha's Vineyard.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah, I'm the most blue. I'm more like the guys who live in the center of the islands who actually work out here year round. I'm not like the guys who live out in my neighborhood. I feel a little out of place.
Yeah, they're probably asking what time you're catching the ferry home.
Ooh, damn.
Me blasting country music, flying out of my driveway this morning, trying to make it to the gym before 9 o'clock.
Nice.
He's like Hank Hill on an island on vacation.
Damn it, Bobby. Oh my God, Cruz, buddy. So Marcus May, what is happening? I thought the only time you guys were gonna get in trouble this year was freaking what's his freaking name? Alvin Kamara knocking a dude out in Vegas.
Yeah. So I was on site working when I got the news. And people I've talked to are actually saying that it looks like it's been blown out of proportion a little bit. It looks like right now it's a false arrest, actually. So he kind of, I guess, right now the story going around that I've heard is that he just fit the description, unfortunately, and right now it seems like he's pled not guilty. His lawyer said this is a not guilty case. Shouldn't be a big deal. It just seems like a huge misunderstanding, unfortunately. It's just terrible timing because of this week that has happened, and obviously the safety depth right now is a little with Chauncey Gardner going to Philly. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You got a future All-Pro.
I love he's just a menace to society.
He is a menace to society. That's why I'm mad that we traded him for a bag of Skittles and a bag of Fritos.
Don't forget, like literally, we got all that return and more in a bag of chips for getting rid of Rager. So I was like,
I know. So like the Eagles are just cleaning the house. So honestly, anything less than an NFC Championship game appearance this year is just going to be a huge disappointment for you. So get ready for that failure.
I'm trying to be humble as possible, but
let's just get ready for that disappointment in a wild card loss to the Saints, because let's just face it, we own you in the playoffs.
I love that he's clarified that, because ever since Jalen Hurts took over, they haven't beat us.
Yeah, congrats! You beat us twice in 2 years with the backup squad. You Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian as our quarterbacks, by the way.
You act like we had an elite offense in 2020 or in 2021.
Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill.
Do not disrespect the man, the myth, the legend, Trevor Siemian.
Dude, former Jets legend.
He can beat Tom Brady, but he can't beat Jalen Hurts. So
listen, we'll find out this year, buddy. That's all I'm saying. I agree. No, listen, our safeties are both menaces to society. Him and Marcus Epps might actually kill a tight end this year.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting. I'm excited to see the Saints season still.
I think you guys are going to be a wild card team, which is going to be terrifying because you're going to play like some team like Green Bay in the first round and whoop them.
So I'm actually on the belief that right now, with the way our offenses look, Michael Thomas right now, as reported today, is going to be starting week 1. So can't guard Mike is back with Chris Olave, Jarvis Landry. Alvin Kamara is not getting suspended. O-line is healthy. Mm-hmm. I know Trevor Penning got put on IR for a couple of weeks, but he wasn't going to start to begin with.
Did he punch us through a face mask again? That's why he's on IR?
No, he has turf toe. So
from what? Kicking a dude in the head? Like
you act like he's okay. Look,
this dude's a menace. I watched like 5 minutes of clips on this guy.
Jared's word of the night is menace. Apparently,
why? How come? Like tennis?
I love it. I love that he's like got this rep. It's awesome. I love offensive linemen who got these reps. That's the best part about it. These guys are like animals in the freaking trenches. It's the best part.
I don't know, but regardless, he wasn't going to be a starter for us week 1 anyway. So, but yeah, I'm pretty confident in the team. I think right now 10-6 or 11. 10-7, 11-6 is pretty realistic with our schedule and the talent we have on defense. So, look out for us. I think we really compete for the NFC South spot this year. But like realistically, I see us splitting with Tampa Bay. I see us splitting with Carolina, and I see us sweeping Atlanta. And then beating the Eagles on New Year's Day.
Of course.
What's the over-under when the Saints and the Eagles play each other? What's the over-under on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Mike Thomas throwing punches? I'm going to say at least 3.
Mike Thomas would beat the shit out of Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Well, that's if Mike Bradbury doesn't lock up Mike Thomas the entire time.
Mike Thomas has punched him in the face already. He'll do it again.
Exactly. So I'm thinking.
You know
I'm thinking
what's
it's at
crazy?
least
Out of
3 punches to the neck.
Well, I think Mike Thomas, the reason he's still a Saints because Sean Payton left. Because don't those two freaks still fucking hit each other?
There's some rumors that they didn't like each other too much. That Sean Payton rushed Michael Thomas back from injury a week too early.
He's got a lawsuit sitting there like a layup if he wants to. If that's the case, like
I mean, he makes $20 million a year. I think
it's more for the public embarrassment than anything else. But
yeah. So I mean, right now,
It's never stopped these guys from filing lawsuits before.
yeah, I mean, like, listen, no, I say it's more to make sure that when he becomes the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, which is probably going to happen, because let's be honest, the Milwaukee Rent-A-Cop, known as Mike McCarthy, is probably not going to last the year the way that offense is looking to me.
But see, I'm okay with that. Then just give us 2 first-round draft picks, or give us a draft pick and Michael Parsons. We'll call it a day.
So is it
okay? You might get the draft picks, but I don't think they're going to give up their only hope at playing defense this year.
Okay, give us Diggs, give me Lamb, and then give me a first-round pick, and we'll call it a day.
Dude, you're like that Vikings fan who said, "Hey, the Eagles should trade us Jason Kelce for a 6th-round pick and a future 5th," and like the entire NFL like TikTok just.
I don't like the Cowboys. They should have to give us more.
I don't like the Cowboys either. The only team in the NFL I hate more than the Saints. There you go.
It would be on par for Dallas to like get a new head coach and still not address the defensive side of the ball at all, anyways.
No, Jerry Jones is just hoping he finds some safety in the 7th round. Who's like the next Roy Williams.
Are we going to talk college ball or what?
We're talking college ball. Cruz, I want because your boots on the ground this weekend, FSU and LSU. It is the final game of our 6-pack today. We're going to, of course, pick it in a little bit. What's the vibe? Do you think Jordan Travis and the boys have a shot? Because it's only a 3-point spread last time I checked. Yeah. LSU, yes, they lost Miles Brennan, but it's LSU, man. Yeah. It's Mr. Northeast Louisiana, Mr. Brian Kelly.
No, I think it's actually going to be one of the better games of the weekend. This is, I think, going to be a very competitive game. I like the fact that Florida State got a week 0 matchup. Jordan Travis, I'm high on Jordan Travis this year. I think he showed a lot of hero ball last year. He kind of was a one-man offense, didn't really have a ton of help. I like their running attack. I mean, the fact you have 3 running backs go for over 100 yards in a game, I don't care who you're playing, that's pretty impressive. They kind of call the dogs off, start of the second half. Jordan Travis is one of these guys who can run the RPO to perfection. And I think right now the strong point of LSU is their front 7. They have 2 of the best edge rushers in the SEC. Linebackers, they got some studs, but secondary this year they're actually kind of weak. Their secondary coach is no longer there. I think Florida State has some big body wide receivers that they can win 50-50 balls with. That's the game the matchup that will really decide the game for me. Can Florida State's defense hold up long enough to make Jaden Daniels make some mistakes? Because he's going to try and hit Kayshon Boutte, who I consider the best wide receiver in college football this year. Not JSN, not Jordan Addison. I think Kayshon Boutte is, over the last 2 years, especially with inconsistent quarterback play, put up monster numbers. And I think right now, if Jaden Daniels doesn't get pressure in his face, he is going to make that young Florida State secondary pay. I think the run game for LSU won't be too consistent. The O-line's kind of shaky, and John Emery's going to have to break off a run and break some tackles. I have LSU winning, and I expect it to be a close game. The only reason I'm giving them a nod is that it's in the Superdome. It's a sold-out game. It's going to be insane. I like LSU and Brian Kelly a little bit more, but that's only because I think LSU has untapped talent that Brian Kelly is going to get the most out of, and I think Brian Kelly is a much better coach than Mike Norvell.
I can second that. Mike Norvell, fucking Mike Norvell. He ruined our 6th grade win streak. I'm really excited for this game. You know what the thing is, I want LSU to win, obviously for obvious alignment allegiance reasons. But like the other thing about this game that cracked up to me is when you look at when all the games that are being published this week, it's a primetime game between 2 traditional powers that's kind of just hidden in the back of the deck.
Yeah.
I won't talk like the backyard brawl got a lot of because it's the first time it's what happened like what 10 years.
Yeah, since I think Pitt moved out of the Big East.
So yeah, I think McAfee was still on the team at that point.
I'm telling you, I think it's this. I'm gonna say it's gonna be the third best game of the weekend.
So
It's shaping
backyard
up to be pretty good so far.
What did you say?
I said it's shaping up to be pretty good so far. It's,
No,
like you said, it's electric right now.
I'm not. No, I'm sorry. I was talking about Florida State.
Okay.
That's going to be the third best game of the weekend. I think the backyard brawl. West Virginia. I don't really know what they are this year. I've never liked JT Daniels. Even when he was at USC, I thought he was a modern day kid. He got a ton of hype. I've never had faith in him. I've liked Pitt. I liked what they built. They were kind of came out of nowhere last year. A lot of seniors and a lot of juniors. A lot of those juniors came back. I wish Jordan Addison was on this team because I actually probably would pick them to win the ACC again. Instead, I have NC State winning the ACC this year over Clemson. I think NC State's a more top to bottom, more consistent team because quarterback play. I like their receivers, and I think their defense is probably top 5 in the entire country with 10 returning starters. I don't trust DJ. And Jared, you've known this. Like I have never trusted DJ. I think he's
gone rants about this on your show.
I'm sorry, he's a product of talent, and I think Cade McNamara will take over. I would say by the Wake Forest game.
Yeah, I said he was going to take over by the late season. It just depended on what the record looked like. So the thing is, the DJ, I fully expect DJ to throw them out of games because now that who was their DC last couple of years? He's now the head coach at Oklahoma. Venables defense. As a person who watched way too much film on college and pro ball the past 5-10 years, Venables defense gave me brain aneurysms because I could never understand it completely, and it scared the hell out of me. So it's a complex defense, and it made a lot of unathletic linebackers at Clemson look like all pros.
Yeah.
It also allowed with those crazy hogs they have up front as pass rushers. Though that defense kept Clemson in so many games last year with no Venables. Like, is that defense going to be this? Yeah, they have great D-line, but it's like, do they have the right coaching, the right system? Like, I think they're going to be in a weird situation this year when they're like, oh, we can't just shut them down for 13 points and have DJ get us 20. Oh shit. Okay, we have to score.
I think Clemson's defense is too good to fail. They have 4 guys who can legitimately go in the top 20 of the NFL draft this year. I think linebacker-wise, they got some guys who are young, but they're all Americans. DB-wise, I think they have one of the best safeties in the ACC. They have the ACC Defensive Player of the Year at corner. I mean, they're loaded. I mean, they are, and I think this defense is just too good to fail. In fact, Clemson would probably be a 7-win team last year if it wasn't for this defense, and a lot of it was due to just pure talent. Look, Will Shipley came on at the end of last year and really kind of helped DJ with the RPOs, but there is no Ross. There's no T. Higgins. There's no DeAndre Hopkins. There's no Travis Etienne on this team. Like, this team is going to make or break by their defense. And I'm looking at that matchup October 1st against NC State in Clemson, in Death Valley, and I think NC State goes into that matchup and they win because they've beaten them before. And Clemson historically has had trouble with NC State. Doesn't matter what the record is. But this is a legit NC State team. I have NC State going to the playoffs because I think once they get past Clemson, the rest of their schedule is a cakewalk. And as long as they don't have an epic failure, they can lose a game and still get in because I think Clemson's going to lose multiple games. They have Miami at the end of the year. They have Pitt. They have South Carolina, who's supposed to be good. They have Wake Forest. I hope Sam Hartman's back before then.
We don't get we don't get to play NC State this year. Shit.
You'll play
that game
championship game.
Hopefully.
Well,
that game last year was just like pure electricity from kickoff to the final whistle.
You kept NC State from probably winning an ACC championship game last year.
Well, we also had our quarterback basically call his shot pregame, so it worked.
Yeah.
But I'm like this weekend. Why I love the opening weekend college football. You always have these great matchups. One of the matches I'm excited for because I'm excited for it to set the tone for the college season is Ohio State laying a thumping on Notre Dame and shutting people up for the season.
Pump your brakes. They're not gonna beat them down. I think you are giving Ohio State's defense way too much credit, bud.
I think you're giving Notre Dame's offense way too much credit.
Look, I will take if we're talking about the matchups that you need to look for, you need to look at Ohio State's offense versus Notre Dame's defense, which Notre Dame has a top 10 defense this year. They returned a ton of guys, 15 starters this year off a team last year that only returned 8. I know they're breaking in a new quarterback, but I think I looking at Ohio State's defense and what they gave up last year in that Utah game to a walk-on freshman quarterback. This defense is vulnerable. They're not the same Ohio State guys with the Lattimores, the Robies, the Denzel Wards, like even Sean Wade. Like these guys are just not set up for success. And I know they have a new defensive coordinator. Ohio State's going to score 42 points a game. My worries is that they're going to give up 35 to 42 points a game. I think right now offensively they're the best team in the country. I love what they have at every position. Offensive line, tight end, wide receivers. I think they're better than Bama. I think they're better in Texas. I think they're better in Tennessee when you're just looking at offensive skill sets. But defensively, they're going to give us some points. And I think it's going to take a team that can get a stop or two. And Notre Dame is that defense. So I actually have Notre Dame covering the spread. I think Ohio State will win, but I think it's going to be a 10-point game, or at least or maybe even possibly a 1-possession game. 17 is just way too high.
So my parlay, you're gonna probably ridicule me for this parlay I put down right before I left because there's no gambling in the state of Massachusetts because it's lame.
Soon is coming, very very soon.
I know. I heard the whole thing. So a 5-leg parlay for this weekend. I couldn't bet on my Hurricanes for an easy chip in money line. They took it away because it got too high. Mountaineers money line plus 230. Temple beating the spread at plus 6.5 against Duke. UTEP covering minus 31.5 against Utah. That spread actually went down. It's minus 30, plus 30. Utah money line against Florida, and then Ohio State covering against Notre Dame.
A couple of those I like. I like the Utah one. I'm very high on Utah this year. I think they go into the swamp and they take care of business. I have at Utah State covering the spread against Alabama. Bama has a top 25 matchup in week 2 against Texas. I think they call off the dogs after the end of the first quarter. After it's 28-0. Did you have Oregon, Georgia in there, or did I
have them in my 6-pack. I am not putting that near a betting parlay to save my life.
Okay, so we'll touch on that later. No, I don't hate your parlay. I don't think Notre Dame's going to win. I just think it's week 1, new defense coordinator for Ohio State. Notre Dame is completely bought into Freeman. At this Freeman era, I think Notre Dame is going to get some guys they normally wouldn't with Brian Kelly or Charlie Weiss or whoever the hell their coach is. I think this is going to be a fantastic hire. I think this defense, a lot of these guys came back. If Kyle Hamilton, obviously they're all Americans now playing in Baltimore, but a lot of these guys came back for their senior year to play for Freeman because they believe they can make some noise. Notre Dame, I think, I want to say, like, I'm looking at their schedule. I think they can beat Clemson. I think they can beat. I think they'll beat USC. I think USC is the most overrated team in the country, along with Texas A&M. But Ohio State, I want to see how the defense plays against that electric offense because JSN is no longer the number 4 or the number 3. He is the number 1, and he's going to get all the attention like he didn't because they had Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, and I mean those guys are now first-round picks. And then Marvin Harrison Jr. had a 3-touchdown performance in the Rose Bowl. He's going to get a lot of attention too. I think that this game is going to be a lot closer than people think.
When I look at this whole like week 0 and I look at this game in particular with Notre Dame, I don't ever it's every couple of years they always bring up some team that just competes enough where they're in the national like spotlight top 10. I have a weird feeling with this Freeman era, like it's going to be competitive Notre Dame again, which all I ask is, can they please schedule my Hurricanes again? Even if we lose, I just want to play them because I love those games.
I don't think they'll ever schedule them again.
After what? After that Trajan Bandy, that beat down in South Florida?
I don't think they'll ever do it again. What's the turnover chain? I think they saw too much DJ Dallas.
Oh my God! What do you have? 4 touchdowns that game?
Yeah, it's.
I think Trajan. No, my favorite. It was still my favorite memory of that game was whoever the quarterback was that Ian Book replaced was like crying on the sideline.
Yeah.
And Josh Adams had like 2 fumbles. And the last thing I remember is Ian Book trying to force a ball in over the middle, and Trey Giovanni took that thing 80 to the house. That was the most fun college football game I've probably ever watched in my life.
So I want to run something by you too, because I think this is pretty funny to the show. Did you know that Oklahoma State has a punter who is 32 years old?
That is amazing.
What?
Well, I mean, Miami's is like 28.
Yes. So just fun facts. But yeah, like I said, I'm not high on Notre Dame this year. I think they'll make a New Year's Six bowl because of their name. They'll only lose like 2 games. But I mean, Ohio State. I mean, anything less than a national championship game appearance is a disappointment this year.
Mm-hmm. All right. Before we get into our 6-pack, my man Duck over here has an announcement. We are doing a giveaway. Duck, how would you tell the nice folks at home what's going on?
The giveaway right here. Nice signed Keegan Bradley photo from Pristine Auction. You can get it simply by subscribing to this Corner Booth YouTube channel, subscribing to the Divots and Pivots YouTube channel. And that's been running for a week now, so go and get on that. The other way you will be able to enter is that if we see you out there at the International in Bolton, Mass this weekend, myself and Bud, my co-host over there at Divots and Pivots, will be covering the Live Tour event. So if we see you out on the course, if you're there, come and find us. We'll tell you how you can enter for finding us on the course live, and we'll get that out to you. We'll be announcing the winner on the show on Tuesday. So maybe if you're around, Jared, maybe you can join us and come mess around with us on Divots and Pivots.
Depends on timing, but I will do my best.
Oh yeah, because you got this show here. It's like runs at the same time, so never mind.
Listen, maybe I'll drop in for 30 seconds before or after my show's done.
There we go.
Listen,
yeah,
I'm one of the busiest men at Belly Up. I'm always doing something stupid.
Yes. So get in on the subscriptions for both of these YouTube channels, Corner Booth and Divots and Pivots. Leave comments. That's just interact. We want to meet you guys. We want to interact with you guys. And once again, it's for this signed Keegan Bradley photo from Pristine Auction.
There you go. All right. So, gentlemen, I wanted to bring this up quick before we started. Cruz, I never really got to ask you about this, but we were talking before you came on. I was on a rant about the Raiders and the drafting and how Gruden Mayock and how awful it was. And then we talked about Gruden, his comments and everything. Has there ever been a worse and just such a waste of talent and draft picks we've seen in the last 20 years like these guys?
Do the Cleveland Browns not exist?
Listen, round 2 of the Cleveland Stinkers.
Do the Cleveland Browns not exist? I mean, are we not going to talk about? Talk about Justin Gilbert? We're not going to talk about Johnny Manziel. We're not going to talk about Brandon Whedon. I mean, the list goes fucking on. I mean,
Trent Richardson.
Okay, whoa. Trent Richardson won Rookie of the Year, and the Indianapolis Colts ruined his career. There will be no Trent Richardson slander on this show. No, I'm kidding. He was a huge disappointment. So look, it's not that Mike Mayock drafted bad. It's that they were developed terribly. Josh Jacobs was a fantastic running back at the University of Alabama. In fact, he should have won Rookie of the Year instead of Kyler Murray. That was a total joke. The only reason that Kyler Murray won is because he's a quarterback. Josh Jacobs had a fantastic rookie year, and he's continued to play well for this team. The Raiders just don't know how to develop players. I mean, hell, how many times have they given up on Derek Carr over the last almost decade?
I think at this point it's once every other 6-game period.
It's absolutely insane. You have Kenyon Drake, who's one of the best spellbacks in the NFL. I mean, look what he did in Miami. Look what he did in Arizona, and they just let him walk. Now he's in Baltimore. You don't think Lamar Jackson running the read option with him is going to be dangerous? You look at – I'm trying to think who else was on that list. Abrams was a little bit of a hothead. Granted, he was a thumper, but I thought he was good.
Selling Farrell.
I thought he was drafted way too high. I didn't even think he was the best Clemson defensive lineman for the national championship team. I thought Christian Watkins was. And then Alex Leatherwood, I can't vouch for that one. That one's bad. He did not have a good rookie year. I didn't think he should have been a first-round pick to begin with anyways. In fact, Jared, I came on your show after the draft and said, who reached? And I said Alex Leatherwood, the Oakland Raiders, or Vegas Raiders. I thought he had a lackluster senior year at Bama when he came back for it. He just went off of the name and the fact they won a national championship. I didn't think he was a first-round guy. That one's going to be interesting to see. I know he ended up somewhere. I can't remember where, but
Chicago.
He's in Chicago, which, I mean, they can't do any worse than Chicago right now. I think they probably have the worst offensive line in the league. But man, I'm telling you, it's been pretty bad. But it's hard for me to pick them over the Cleveland Browns. They've made the wrong decision so many times over the last years. I mean, honestly, West Virginia's gone. And out of bounds. But no, Brady Quinn.
You're a second ahead of me.
Yeah, Brady Quinn was one. I'm just trying to go back and think of a lot of other ones. I mean, the list goes on, man. Colt McCoy, Corey Coleman.
So I guess I have my point proven. I point proven. Nothing will ever be as bad as the Cleveland Browns from about 2000 to 2017, 18.
Dude, this is the guy that the franchise that gave up on Mario Davis and let him walk.
Yeah,
Yeah, talk about the Jets or the Browns.
Couldn't find the way to.
The Browns gave up on him, and then he went to the Jets, and then the Jets gave up on him.
Well, the Jets drafted him.
Oh, so never mind. It's the other way around then.
Yeah, because the Jets took him in the third round of his draft year, had him for 4 amazing years, let him go to Browns. Then he came back, had another amazing year, and they didn't even offer him a contract.
So thank you for Jets fans and the Jets organization for being.
Yeah, that would be me.
I mean, the Jets. I was going to say the Jets are up there in the top 5.
Oh God, it's miserable.
Oh my God, we talked about this earlier. I mean, I was going to make a joke about Andy Reid drafting offensive lineman when he was wearing the Eagles green. Or Howie Roseman missing on receivers until he finally notched one with Devontae.
I mean, yeah, it's look. I think the whole Raiders situation has been bad. I even though I've drafted Devontae Adams in fantasy this year, so hopefully the Raiders have a decently good year offensively. But man, it's a weird time in Vegas right now. I think I still think they're the third best team, and actually no, that's not true. I actually think I would take them last in the AFC West. I think right now I would take Denver 1. I like what they have defensively.
Oof. No, the DJ's about to lose his mind.
DJ's about to have a stinker. He's like, wait, what?
That's
Me and DJ are both really high in the Chargers.
I like Denver a lot this year. I think they have the pieces. I think Jerry Jeudy is going to have that a Justin Jefferson type year. Jerry Judy's just has not had consistent quarterback play. Anyone who has Drew Lock as a quarterback and can still score a touchdown is doing something right in my book. I think the Chargers are the most overrated team in football. Until I see them actually make the playoffs, please stop putting them as a Super Bowl pick. I think you guys the media has crowned them way too early. They never lived up to the hype when they had Phillip Rivers. They're not living up to the hype now. I think they are at best a 10-win team. And until I see anything else different, it's still Kansas City's division. I don't care who it is. Patrick Mahomes is the second best quarterback, if not the first best quarterback on the planet right now behind Josh Allen. Until you beat them, I don't want to hear it. You shouldn't be counting on a tie with the Raiders to get into the playoffs. That's just sad. So that's where I'm at. You can add all the guys you want. Once a choking franchise, always a choking franchise.
Fair enough. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what time it is. We've waited 5 long months for this, but gentlemen, start your engines. Let's crack a 6-pack. Kicking it off. We already did our first game. We're gonna go to Saturday now.
Yeah.
In a game that honestly I've been looking forward to, but I refuse to bet on because I don't know what is going to happen. I honestly, in the back of my mind, could see Georgia kicking the piss out of Oregon. So we'll start off with Cruz. Cruz, this is a more elaborated 6-pack. We've got almost 40 minutes to break down these games.
Yep.
Let me know. Oregon, Georgia, get us started here. This is College Game Day, Jared Clem edition.
So I actually have Georgia winning, but I have Oregon covering. I think Georgia lost not just good talent, Jared, but generationally great talent from all-time great defense. You can make the case they're the greatest college defense of all time with the roster they had. At least
it's
top
up there
3.
with Miami. If it's not 1, it's 1A. It's like that. The talent's insane.
Yeah, they're up there with the Miami. I think 2011 Alabama. They're 2008 Florida is up there with the guys they had. I mean, historically great defenses. Bo Nix, say what you want about him. He's played against Georgia. This isn't an unfamiliar foe. He knows how to play against this team. He can still put up numbers. I think Oregon has the two best linebackers in the country, not named Will Anderson and Sewell and Eric Flowers. I think they got some studs up front. I like Oregon a little bit. I think they'll make this game a little uncomfortable for Georgia because right now I don't care how good and how much talent you get. You have a new defense coordinator and your old defense coordinator is now the head coach of Oregon, so he knows your scheme. You're not fooling anybody. I like Oregon to keep this game close, but I think Georgia wins. But I do have Oregon covering at 17.5.
So, for those you don't know, the Six Pack is a yearly competition of me and my co-hosts, and we basically have celebrity pickers. This week we have 3 because we're very blessed and lucky. These 3 handsome gentlemen decided to stop by. So it's basically me versus Matt this year. Last year, JD snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, then quit, so he lost his prize. I had a 3-year win streak snapped by that. Before that, beating Kevin and then beating Kevin and Savannah and beating Kevin and Samir. So yeah, no, I got to reclaim my titles. Right now it's me versus Matt. We haven't decided what the prize is. Could be a football jersey. Could be just a gift card. Oh, by the way, folks, if you're trying to figure out what you're doing next week, we might be doing another giveaway, possibly some Yeet sunglasses, Nike gift card, sleeve of Canada dips. We'll let you know. But tune into our Twitter and our Instagram this week. We'll be announcing our giveaways. We're going to do a lot more this season because, one, we know people like free shit. That's how Andrew became a fan of the show.
And I got my Yeets.
And, it's always fun just kind of giving shit away. I love feeling like Oprah for a minute.
If you were big, you would have me on I would be your competition.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. All right, so should I just kick Cruz now for being a jackass, or should I wait a little while?
Hey, tell you what, if we want to, we can do this. Me and you, we can have a weekly competition on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Oh, I am down for that.
Sounds expensive.
The Sport Podcast. Shameless plug.
Is Cruz caught talking a Thunderdome?
Well, listen, no, Cruz knows where I'm at. His co-host Perkins loves me, so yeah, no, I'll definitely come help out and take Cruz on every week. Because you know what? It's like every time I go on the cruise control pod, Oxford pod, they love me. So it's
we do love you.
Yeah, I had I called Chet Holmgren Slenderman one of the times I came on there. So
died laughing. We actually like you more than the other old co-hosts. Just heads up.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. We love Kevin. We love Kevin. We love Kevin.
Kevin will be probably smoking a cigar with me on this porch in about 18 hours when he gets his ass out here. Just waiting for my bum ass cousin to get his shift over with.
There you go. But yeah, finishing what we were talking about. Yeah,
we'll talk about that stuff. Yeah.
Oregon's going to be a very underrated team this year. Look, Oregon's not afraid to go anywhere and play anybody. Look what they did to Ohio State last year in the Horseshoe. A lot of those guys are back this year defensively. A lot of people would even consider Eric Flowers and Sewell to be even better than Kayvon Thibodeau was last year. And Kayvon Thibodeau was a top 5 pick. Look for Oregon to make some noise. I think they're the second best team in the Pac-12 behind Utah. And that's no shade towards them. I think Utah is a playoff team this year. So I think Oregon they've arrived. And Bo Nix can just get some consistency like he had in 2019 his freshman year. I think Oregon's a 10-win team.
I actually took them as they're going to win the North. It's just a matter of who the hell comes out of the South. I think we are going to have a rematch of Oregon-Utah. I think USC needs another year of adjusting. I think Caleb Williams is going to be electric, but I think also it's not going to matter when Utah's kicking their barn doors in.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. USC has, on paper, some of the best skill talent in the country, especially at offense. You have Travis Dye, Jordan Addison, Mario Williams, obviously Caleb Williams at quarterback. But D-line and O-line, they're significantly undermatched. Like they will not stand a chance against Utah, especially with Utah's O-line and Taven Thomas. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame will run all over them. Utah, I think UCLA actually will get them this year. I have USC going 9-3. I think UCLA is a better team up front and offensively. I love DTR. He's back for his 5th year. Notre Dame, I think they have the best tight end in the country, not named Brock Bowers, and I think he's just a matchup nightmare. And then Utah, I think Utah beats them by 2 scores when they play.
That's what I think too. I think it's gonna be Oregon, Utah is gonna be a lot closer this year. Andrew, who you got? Utah, Oregon. I guess Cruz is taking. No, Oregon or Georgia. I guess Cruz is taking Georgia. Who you taking, Duck? Oregon or Georgia?
So I'm prefacing my college picks here to Cruz with the fact that I'm a Boston College fan and know jack about college football because I'm a Boston College fan. Look, I wouldn't be a Duck if I didn't pick Oregon, so I'm just picking Oregon because I would love to see Georgia lose.
Upset pick of the week. There we go.
I love it.
All right, Mr.
That's
DJ,
all the breakdown I have.
Our version of the Neuralink. Who you got, buddy?
For completely different reasons, I'm also going with Oregon too. I think they spring this early upset. They have their entire offensive line returning. They go 4 deep at running back, and that's without CJ Verdell now, who was hit and miss a lot last year. Cruz already mentioned the linebackers, some of the best in the country. And for some reason, Bo Nix, for his inconsistencies, feels like week 1, even at Auburn every single year. He was actually really good week 1. His first game ever, he goes and beats a Justin Herbert-led Oregon team as well. So I could see them walking into this week 1 and just being like, what the hell is this? Bo Nix is Peyton Manning. And then he goes on his Bo Nix roller coaster after that. But I can see them walking and beating Georgia, who we already kind of went over to. They didn't just lose quite a few good players. It was like when 2019 LSU, after that run, they went on and just lost everybody, it felt like. That's what it feels like Georgia is doing right now. They lose their entire defense. You lose Pickens. You lose your running back core for the most part. They got a lot to replace, and it's hard to bounce back in a first week against a team with so many returning starters. So give me Oregon for the upset, quote unquote, but I think most people kind of see it should be a really close game either way.
All right, Matt.
So thinking about this matchup, there is only one person who knows, and that's Bo knows. I am going to also follow trend with the upset and choose Oregon over Georgia.
So that's your upset pick this week, buddy.
I'm a Bo Nix fan. I like Bo Nix. I've watched someone who's with Oregon when he was with Auburn, and I like him now even more when he's with Oregon. So I'm going with the Bo Nix led Oregon Ducks. Jared's ex.
Thanks for letting me go first with that, Jared. I started the trend, I guess.
For the reference that Matt just made, I loved Michael James and Marcus Mariota when I was in college. So like, I rooted really hard for Oregon because I never really had a team before Miami. So it was like always rooting for players. At one point, it was West Virginia because of Steve Slayton and Pat White. So I love watching certain fun teams play. So then I finally actually picked a team, and they finally have a fun team this year. Anyway, I am going with Georgia. Listen, as much as I think that Bo Nix is going to be a nightmare for them to shut down because he's just a weaselly little. You can't tackle him. He's just elusive. He is just going to find a way to annoy the hell out of Georgia. I still think Georgia's going to pull it out at the end. It's definitely going to be so close that it's going to give a lot of guys who took Georgia outright with the money line a little squirmy. So, but I think Georgia's going to pull it out. All righty. Next up on the list, Cincinnati and Arkansas. Arkansas coming off a very, very solid year last year. It was a very surprising year. Every year when it comes, I like watching the SEC one because I've been friends with Cruz for a while. I've been friends with Kevin forever and Kelsey and all these SEC fans, and I kind of am starting to understand like, all right, SEC football is like a religion. I kind of like watching it for the fun of that. Arkansas kind of came out of buckfuck nowhere and just literally started like winning games. Yeah. Cincinnati, same thing, but Cincinnati lost their four out of the 5 best players in Ritter, Sauce, Bryant, and Alec Pierce. So with that in mind, gentlemen, how are we thinking? Do we think Arkansas rolls, or are we thinking Cincy keeps a little magic from last year? Cruz, we'll start with you.
Yeah, no, I think the Cinderella story is dead. It's done. They had their shot. They proved that this is the big boy league, and they don't deserve it. I thought it was a cute story last year, but I thought they had no business being in the college football playoffs. Look, Arkansas, I wasn't surprised with Arkansas' success last year. In fact, you saw it during COVID a little bit when they hired Sam Pittman. I was dead wrong on the Sam Pittman hire at Arkansas in 2020. I had no idea what we were getting. But he has established this weird version of a power spread scheme where it's just power run with KJ Jefferson. I like Sanders. I think this team I think Arkansas is a 9-10 win team this year. I think as far as they go, their ceiling is second in the West, and their floor is probably third. I think they're that talented. They have good defense. I know they lost Burks, but they still got some weapons. I think KJ Jefferson's a dark horse Heisman contender if he puts up.
I love watching him run, man. It's like watching a pit. It's like watching Jay Ajayi, like with the Miami Eagles years. Just I'm trying to I look at him and I'm just like, who does he remind me of? He reminds me of Cordell Jones from when he was at Ohio State. It's the best way to describe him. He's not as fast, but he's just as big, and I think he has a better arm. I think he can lead this team to a lot of wins. Like I said, I think the only teams in the SEC West or the SEC that are better than Arkansas this year are Alabama and Georgia. And frankly, I think they'll be undefeated going into the Alabama game. I think they'll take care of business in this game. I have them covering 6.5 easy on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I think this is an easy layup win for week 1. I think the Cincinnati story dies finally, and we can move on. The most elitist college football take of all time out of my friend Cruz. No, if you guys don't remember this,
I'm not elitist.
Cruz literally shat on Cincinnati for 20 minutes on my show back in January. We were picking the college football playoff, and it was the most like me and Kevin, just to get a rise out of him, started calling him elitist because he was like, they don't deserve to sniff this trophy, much less this tournament. And guess what? I'm like, bro, calm the F down.
And guess what? Brian Robinson ran for 200 yards against them, and Bryce
Happy he's doing better, by the way.
What?
Brian Robinson's doing better, man.
He's doing better, by the way.
Shows up with Oreos 2 days after he shot. That's some toughness right there.
I love him. That's built by Bama right there. Is what that is.
That's just built for and tough at that point. Like there's no way to.
No, Cincinnati's never deserved in that conversation. Look, it's a cute story. You do well, but the 2 times in 2 years that you've gone up against 2 SEC teams, the best ones you've lost. Honestly, probably should have beat Georgia, but that wasn't that good. I don't know what that was. That was terrifying.
I just had the same. ESPN is. I have the ESPN pulled up and it keeps running ads in my ears too.
That's what you. There's a little tab where you mute it at the top. Just heads up for the.
It's a golf show. You'd think you know how to use the silence button.
I'm just kidding. But honestly, if you're looking for this year's Cincinnati, there's 2 teams to look out for. It's Houston and it's Boise State. They both return a lot of starters. They both have good defenses. They have easy schedules that line up. Cincinnati, man, I think the story's dead. I think Luke Fickell should have taken the Notre Dame job when he got the chance, and he didn't.
I think he wants Ryan Jay's gig. I think he wants to see if Day's going to slip up. That's what I think he really wants.
Day's not going anywhere.
I know that. That's why I think what he wants. I think it was AJ Hawks and McAfee. I don't think he's settling for anything less than his alma mater.
I don't think he deserves Ohio State.
I never said he does. I'm just saying that's what Mr. Superjaw AJ Hawk said. So,
fair enough. Which, by the way, I know it goes for a long way. Did you know that Brady Quinn and AJ Hawk are brothers?
Yeah, it's hysterical. And the jokes that Boston Connor and the guys in the back make on that show about it are fucking hysterical. Boston Connor, also one of the me and Matt, part of the 27 Club. I actually may have a connection to Boston Connor. I think I know his cousin. Because I think I'm not completely sure on this. I think his cousin was my ex-girlfriend's roommate in college. So I may try to see if I can use the connection to get Boston.
It became an even weirder flex.
Yeah, no flex here. I'm literally trying to see if I can get this dude in the show because he's fucking hysterical. We'll go next. We'll go to Matt. Matty, who you taking here? Cincinnati, Arkansas.
You look at Cincinnati, and they lost their most important pieces this past season with Ritter and Sauce and Pierce. I just don't see them having the same success that they did in the past year. So I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a tough fought game, but I'm thinking Arkansas like 31, Cincinnati 26. I'm going to go Arkansas over Cincinnati for this one.
All right, I'll go. I'm going to take Arkansas, and I might even take the point. I'm definitely taking the points here too. I just think Arkansas last year was just so much fun to watch with Burks, and I'm a big KJ Jefferson fan, as I said before. Even watching him run the ball, like I said, it kind of reminds me a little bit of like he said, Cardell Jones. He just runs like a pinball with a full head of steam, and it's just so entertaining. I love power running quarterbacks. Shout out to Blake Bell, the Belldozer, back in the day. Like I love seeing that kind of shit. So to me, like I think Arkansas, I really hope they are the second best team in the West because I know Bama's going to run away with the West, but at least give us some team that's going to give us a little hope for that. Because Joyless Murder Ball is back and it's going to be painful to watch. But I do think, though, that this is going to be a very fun Arkansas team to entertain us. So give me Arkansas. I think Cincinnati is going to take a year or two down before they start picking up those Big 12 recruits and just shitting down everyone's throat in that conference. Except for maybe Baylor.
I'll take Arkansas, too.
Mr. Neuralink.
Give me Arkansas comfortably. Jefferson, they scored 30-plus points in like 60% of his starts. And on top of that, they're one of the best teams with takeaways, too. So Cincinnati's, I think it's going to be a blowout.
I forgot about that. I had that stat circled on my sheet. I said, Arkansas, one of the best takeaway teams in the SEC. I also think that Cincinnati with the new quarterback is going to turn the ball over a fuck ton.
Plus, you lost Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati. One does not just lose Kobe Bryant and be good next year. Like I don't make the rules. I just beat them out loud.
Well, exactly. So also take a look out for Arkansas's defense. They probably have two of the best linebacker duos in the SEC, and Bumper Pool and Drew Sanders, the Alabama.
Bumper Pool is literally my favorite name.
Great name.
What year is he? He's got a year or two more.
He's a senior. He's a senior.
Oh, he's a senior. Oh, please, somebody! I need some team with I just need a meme NFL team to draft him. That is the greatest name of all time. All righty. We're going to go to we brought this team up already. We talked about them a little bit. Utah going to the Swamp to play the second best team in Florida, the Florida Gators.
Yeah. I'm big on Utah this year. But as someone who's worked close with the University of Florida the last couple of years, Anthony Richardson's a real deal. I know that for a fact. People I've talked to, former quarterbacks who have played for Florida. Jared knows what I'm talking about. Says
boss.
Yeah, whole boss. It says he can be maybe one of the best players ever wear 15 at the University of Florida, and that's saying something.
That's really fucking
saying something. The guy
has off the record to you, right?
This is a completely off the record. Don't let my former boss know I said this. But he's very high on him. I believe him when he says that. He has this rare ability to run 4.4 speed and have a laser cannon arm. I think I like Billy Napier. I like what he's doing there. He's recruiting at a very high level. I think the only guy in Florida is doing better is Mario Cristobal right now. But look out, Napier is coming. And I think this game's going to be a little bit closer than people think, but I think Utah is going to run away with this. I think Utah offensively has one of the best offensive lines in the country. Tavon Thomas quietly had a 21 rushing touchdown season a year ago. They're coming off a disappointing Rose Bowl loss, but, I mean, they played well with a walk-on quarterback. Cameron Rising, dark horse, Heisman candidate. Defensively, they're solid. I think Florida makes it close because it's a night game in the Swamp, and it's honestly one of the toughest places to play, and it's going to be hot. But I think Utah is just a better team, and they'll win. They'll run away with it in the fourth quarter.
I like Utah for the simple fact they are built like an SEC or Pac-12 or Big Ten team in the Pac-12, which is why they bully a lot of those teams. But I still think they'll be able to run and gun with Florida. I love Anthony Richardson. I think he is terrifying to play against. But the biggest part of me is it's not Anthony Richardson, it's not Billy Napier, who I think is the problem for Florida to supporting cast. I think right now they have a lot of experience on a lot of parts of the ball. It's going to kill them. And Utah's returning a lot of starters. And the fact of the matter is Kyle Whittingham's got those boys believing they're going to kick everyone's ass. So, it's like no Devin Lloyd or not, they're still going to whoop everybody they play, at least in the trenches, if not on the scoreboard. So, yeah, give me Utah winning here. It's going to be close as shit, though. This game might be the best game of the weekend.
This actually is my best game of the weekend.
See, we're on the same page here. Like, I honestly have this game circled. Like, we may need to watch this Saturday because I'm excited.
I'll be on Bourbon Street, so
I need to go back to Bourbon Street. I miss that fucking town.
Come back.
All righty, who hasn't picked yet?
I got you this one. So you got Florida coming off of a 6-7 effort in 2021. They got a new head coach. Obviously what we were talking about, Billy Napier's got to pretty much build this team up from the bottom. They're in like a little bit of like a rebuild year, and you got the Utah coming off one of the best seasons they've had in their program's history. So I think this is all a recipe for a disaster for Florida and a recipe for success for the Utes. I think it'll be a close game because of the home field advantage and everything. But I think Utah is gonna, at the end of the day, is gonna win this game.
I also am going with Utah. I think they're going to run the heck out of the ball. Anthony Richardson's going to make the score closer than it will feel like, but I think the eye test will show Utah dominating. And fun fact, it's the first time Utah's played an SEC opponent since Alabama in 2009, where they actually upset the Crimson Tide then too. So I think Utah's going to come with a point to prove. Richardson will make it look close as he is that dynamic, but Utah's going to have full control of the game.
Just a heads up, we had given up that season. That's
fair. I just said that's just a random fun fact. It's been 12 years since they played an SEC team.
I would love to replay them in the college football playoffs. I actually think that'd be a good game. I really do.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think the problem is that Alabama can score at will when they need to, where Utah is going to have to manufacture a lot of drives.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Duck.
I'm going Utah.
There you go. All righty, gents. Coming to the back end of this, we've got Notre Dame, Ohio State. We talked about this a little bit already. I'll get mine out of the way fast because everyone knows how I'm leaning. Give me Ohio State to thump Notre Dame. I think the Mike Freeman, I was almost like Kyle Whittingham. The Mike Freeman era is going to start off a little bumpy for the first game, but I think Notre Dame is back with a vengeance. I just wish they would man up and play Miami and South Beach again because that was so much fun to watch. But yeah, no, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. or the second or whatever he goes by, and Jackson Smith and Jigba and CJ Stroud, these boys, they come to play, and it's going to be a fun offense. Their defense is not going to be great. Like I think Notre Dame's going to score early, but they won't score late, and I think that's what's going to kill them. I think Ryan Day is a good enough coach, and he's a good enough staff around him where they'll be able to adjust and take away whatever the hell Mike Freeman's got run up. So, DJ.
Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna go with Ohio State. I think they're gonna win. I think it's gonna be like right at that spread. It's almost gonna be a push. It's gonna be like the 17 points. That I think Notre Dame's gonna have their moments, but Ohio State's low. That offense, CJ Stroud. You have the best quarterback, arguably the best running back, and arguably the best receiver, and arguably the best receiving core. That's just a whole lot to stop. Even if Notre Dame's on its P's and Q's, you can only stop that juggernaut for so many times. And I think they're going to struggle to manufacture enough offense. So give me Ohio State by right at that 14-7 point spread mark.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Duckman.
Look, I'm going Notre Dame because I like the upsets. It's college. Like I said, I don't know the most about college football, but I like you said, I did see a little bit about Freeman coming as the coach and how the team's been reacting to him. And look, the fact that Freeman used to play for Ohio State, I think that is going to be he's going to have a little extra something in him, and he's going to pump these guys up. So first week one of college football, anything can happen. We've seen it before. And this wouldn't be anything. It's still 5 versus 2, so it's not like it would be a crazy upset. But yeah, give me Notre Dame here.
All righty, Cruz.
Yeah, I already said I'm going Ohio State, but I think Notre Dame covers. I think this is a 1 touchdown game. If Notre Dame though can keep this game close going into the fourth quarter, look out because anything goes. I really do think Notre Dame offensively or defensively can keep this game close. I don't really know what to expect from this new Notre Dame quarterback. However, though, he is good on his feet. I know that the Ohio State pass rush is not good, especially the last couple years. But I know their run defense is pretty deadly. I look for CJ Stroud to just be that big time player that we expect him to be, and I expect JSN and Marvin Harrison Jr. to make some plays. I just think it's a little bit too much right now for the Fighting Irish.
Matt.
Well, you got CJ Stroud as an early Heisman favorite. You pair that with a deep group of receivers, and then you have a Notre Dame secondary that allowed 224.2 passing yards per game last season. I think this is a recipe for disaster again, but for Notre Dame. Unless Rudy is coming out of retirement, I'm going Ohio State with this one.
Oh, they're screwed even more than Rudy. Fuck Rudy.
Most overrated sports movie in history.
Thank you. Oh God, that movie makes me want to puke every time I watch it.
I've seen it like 2 or 3 times, and that's the last time I've seen it was probably 15 years ago, and I'm good.
I literally came home from a party at a friend of mine's house, and I dropped a couple friends off. I come in the house, and I think one of my parents had the Rudy movie on. It's like right after college, and I think Miami's playing Notre Dame that weekend, and literally my mom goes, "Hey, Rudy's on. You want to watch us?" I'm like, "Yo, fuck Rudy." I went upstairs. And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "You heard me. He's offsides." I said something that's like, I know it was, and it also made it even funnier because literally the next day I watched Notre Dame basically just get embarrassed. That's why you don't talk shit until you win the game there, Brian boy. All right. Oh, finally our last game of the 6-pack, the game that our good boy Cruz is going to be boots on the ground for. We already broke it down enough. We'll go simple picks here because we got about 10 minutes left. FSU, LSU. We're going to start with Cruz. He's boots on the ground. What do you got, buddy?
Yeah, man, I'm going LSU, but expect Florida State to keep this game close. I think Jordan Travis has a good game. I think Florida State has a bounce back year. I think they're a 7-win team. I actually, believe it or not, hot take. I said it on the Oxford podcast, but I'm going to say it here. LSU finishes second in the West this year behind Alabama.
Ahead of Arkansas.
Ahead of Arkansas. They're either going to tie Arkansas or they're going to be ahead. But I think at the end of the day, they're both going to be 9-3. LSU this year, I think talent-wise, Brian Kelly's back. I have faith in Jaden Daniels. I think Keyshawn Butte is the best wide receiver in college football right now. John Emery's good. Pass rush is good. Linebackers are good. If they can lock down that offensive line and their secondary are a bunch of young guys, I think this team can be very deadly. I think they can beat Tennessee. I think they can beat Ole Miss. I think they can beat Arkansas. I think A&M's most overrated team in the country because they're just living off that Bama hype from last year.
We'll take care of them week 4. Don't worry, buddy.
Look out for LSU this year to make a lot of people upset and make people a lot of money.
I've had 4 SEC fans. Cruz hasn't told me he's rooting for me yet, but I told him week 4, like you're backing us against A&M, right?
I'll be here.
Kevin go, F yeah. Cruz gets fit. That's 5 SEC fans. Is A&M the most hated fan base?
No, not at all. And here's the thing: if A&M was really the 6th best team in the country, I would say it. They're just not. I on a neutral field, I went down the roster and I went down the top 25, and I literally listed out 8 teams I would take on a neutral field over them. I would take Michigan State. I'd take USC. I would take Texas. I would take Utah. I would take Notre Dame. There's Oklahoma State, Baylor, you name it. Oklahoma, I would take them, and they're all ranked behind A&M. A&M lost a lot of talent last year, and their quarterback who magically beat us in a game where, in fact, they blew a 21-point lead and almost gave it up. And we played probably our worst game of the year. And this game is in Tuscaloosa. Nick Saban doesn't lose to the same coach twice. Unless your name is Hugh Freeze and you buy your team, which, I mean, to be fair, Jimbo Fisher did buy his team, but different story for another day.
Best story of the offseason for college football.
There's no Swag Kelly on this team. So, look, I actually have no issue with Texas A&M as a university. I love Johnny Football. I loved it when he was there. But this team, and you remember, first time I ever came on your show, I said Texas A&M was going to be a top 5 team, and they were going to become second in the SEC West and only lose 1 game. Did I not?
You said that
exactly. So
wow. That's almost 2 years. That's 2 years ago now. It was the middle of 2020.
It's crazy. I am unbiased when it comes to this. I think A&M is the most overrated team in college football, and they will actually go 7-5 this year.
All righty. So in that case, you're taking LSU.
Yes.
Listen, I knew this game was going to spark some kind of SEC talk, so that's why I made sure we gave us at least 10 minutes for the final pick. Doc, who are you taking?
I'm going LSU. I still think it's just SEC and ACC. There's just too much of a gap still. So I'm going LSU over FSU.
Tigers don't fear the spear. Give me LSU. DJ.
Okay. I'm going to keep the train rolling. I'm going with LSU as well, too. I think they have a little bit too much talent. A little concerned with the quarterback controversy. Seems like it's going on. It seems like Brian Kelly, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem like he's announced it at starter yet. But
he's not going to. Yeah. We will know. We'll know actually at kickoff. He said he wasn't going to. But everything I've heard, it's going to be Jaden Daniels, a transfer from Arizona State.
Yeah, and either way, it doesn't matter who is. Throw it to Keyshawn Butte and everyone get out of the way. It'll be fine. He's going to be electric. They'll be fine. So give me LSU, but I'm going to say it's really close about that 3, maybe 4 point spread. So it'll be right in the spread.
All righty. Matt.
Yeah, to make this one a quick one as well, I think it's going to be close as well as everybody else believes. But LSU being my newly determined team, and I do like Brian Kelly for LSU as a coach after Coach O. I'm going to go LSU with this one as well.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate that. That was the first ever episode and edition this year of the Six Pack. Me and Matt have to quickly do our gimme picks. So, Matt, the rules of the gimme pick are simple. You pick a game in college or pro ball this upcoming week that is so easy that if you get it, it should be a gimme point, right? There is one caveat. It's happened twice, both to Samir. If you mess up your gimme pick, you lose 2 points in the week. So with that in mind, I'm taking my Hurricanes over Bethan Cookman because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Okay, so now I got to come up with one.
Yes.
Take Rutgers over BC.
Just take like Alabama over whatever slackjaw Division III team they're playing.
Boy, don't do that this week. I'm taking don't take Utah State over Alabama. The spread's way too high, and they're gonna.
Oh no, this is just money lines, baby.
Yeah, I know. Don't. Oh, okay, never mind.
Money lines. I'm trying to think of the upcoming. I'm trying to think of who I just picked for my Survivor. I'm surprised I can't even think. You know what? I'm gonna go with a bold one. I'm going to go bold. I'm going to say my gimme of the week is Panthers over Browns.
No, you have to do.
Damn it! I thought we could choose either.
No, NFL starts next week. This is college football. It's week 0 of the NFL
man.
season.
Right, well, now that you've
build up, I think he's going to take like fucking UTEP over like Oklahoma or something.
Oh man! Well, now that you've explained it, no joking. We're doing money lines. You said, give me. You know what? Fuck it. I'll take Alabama. That's I'm going with it, and it's not just because I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it is that reason.
It's got to go right somewhere. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode of the Korner Booth Podcast. Once again, if you would like that autographed copy of the Keegan Bradley, like nice little portrait that Mr. Duck is holding up right there, go and subscribe to the Korner Booth Podcast on YouTube as well as the Divots and Pivots Podcast. You can find these two handsome gentlemen below. Cruz Oxenrider at the Oxcord Pod, who, oh, by the way, the 99 days of college football with all the players. I loved it. That was genius.
Thank you.
I liked every single Miami one, obviously.
My interns work very hard.
Yeah, your interns kick ass. It would be great if me and Matt ever got a fucking intern. That's never going to happen.
You chase them away.
No, I don't. They get too entitled, so we got to give them the boot. And, of course, you can find the Neuralink himself, Mr. DJ, at High Low Sports on everything. They just had an episode last night. It was very entertaining. I did not get a chance to comment because I was at a bar, but I was watching on my phone with an earbud in because I was bored out of my mind. Martha's Vineyard bars on Wednesdays are dead as fuck.
Yeah.
Yes,
but
I don't know what you expected, my man.
But tomorrow, from about noon tomorrow until about 7 p.m. on Monday, this island's going to be a zoo, so yes. I'm excited for that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you stopping by. Quick shout out to Mr. Brian Robinson because that story is absolutely scary. Dude gets named the starter, then he gets shot within like 24 hours. He's said to make a full recovery. No timetable, obviously, but the fact that he showed up to Commanders practice with literally a bag of fucking Oreos.
Get that Oreo sponsorship.
I fucking love it. Oreos, throw him something. All right, but that's about it. That is all. We appreciate our amazing sponsors, of course, Canada Dips, promo code BELLYUP20 for 20% off, and Eats Official, promo code Korner for 10% off. We appreciate y'all stopping by. We hope you have a great weekend. Please do not drink and drive. Drink responsibly. Drink a couple beers for us. And we will talk to you guys on Tuesday for our first – oh, my God. It's finally get to talk football for an entire episode. I'm excited. Next Thursday, obviously, will be NFL kickoff, which probably might do a giveaway. Just stay tuned for that. Peace.